Welcome back here at GOMTV.net. Tastes and Artosis here. We're about to cast the final match here in Group E.
That is right, Tasteless. Will it be KangHo or will it be JangBi moving up? I think that this is a clean slate, this game. I don't think we can take their first game and say, well, I think JangBi's going to win because he beat Lucira there.
Yeah.
That was a special tactics build from Lucira.
Well, that was one of those builds you can only do once, probably for the next few months.
Yeah.
For all the tournaments you're doing.
To be frank, I don't think it's that good. That's like
I agree with you. I don't think it was that strong of a build.
Two-base Swarm Host, Tasteless. I am so unimpressed with two-base Swarm Host, I can't even tell you.
Now, we're going to go into this final match. Remember, it's a best of one. So if you make a mistake, that's it. You're out.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to see, man. JangBi or KangHo, who do you want to advance?
I think JangBi will advance, and I actually want him to advance.
Me too.
I really enjoy casting his games. I don't feel like we've had enough Protoss presence in this tournament so far, and definitely not so far in the round of 16.
Well, we'll see how many we actually get through. We're definitely going to get some more through. There's actually a group with 3 Protoss later on, so, you know. We'll at least have some
one of those guys will get through.
Yes, at least one,
yes.
And probably 2, considering Parting Rain and Younghua are the 3 in that group.
Yes, very true.
In fact, all 3 should make it through, in my opinion. But
so right now we're waiting for our players to join into the game. Do we know what the map is going to be, Artosis? Whirlwind.
Whirlwind, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the first, the round of 32. We have a pretty laid out map set for that. Keep everything fair and normal and equal.
Now, one thing that's important to note is that Whirlwind is a very strong map for Zerg. It's a big open space. It's the biggest map we have in StarCraft 2. So let's say that Zerg spawns in the upper left and Protoss spawns in the bottom right. Those are cross spots. That's absolutely wonderful for Zerg. Zerg can expand as much as they want. And there's not really a lot the Protoss can do to attack into them. Plus, Zerg has the opportunity to counterattack. So, although I feel like JangBi is the better player here, I definitely could see JangBi losing on this map against a player like KangHo.
Sure. I think about JangBi's style, and I think about the map and what the map entails. JangBi, I feel like he's a powerhouse. He's someone, like, the Immortal resonates well with him, in my opinion. Is he going to be okay using Stargate a lot? Because I feel like this is a map that you really want to go Stargate on. In fact, I feel like this is one of the best maps for SkyToss.
Now, we already saw him do this really weird build, actually, in the very first game we casted today, which seemed almost to directly counter what KangHo had in store for him. But what I'm wondering is he going to do another weird build on this map as well? JangBi's a real innovator. When it comes to Protoss, whether it's StarCraft 1 or here in StarCraft 2. So there's always a chance he could have a trick up his sleeve.
Yeah, he definitely could be. He seems to really know his stuff and can play like on the fly. That stuff he was seeing from Lucira, he probably hasn't really played against exactly that. But he's like, well, this is going to cover my bases. This is going to be a good way to play.
He's one of these guys that really, really gets how his race operates. I mean, I feel like a lot of times you see players who you could say this guy practiced a lot, or he had better teachers. I feel like when you look at JangBi, you just got to say he really gets how Protoss works, how he can stretch the limits of his race. So I'm really curious personally, how does he play on a map like this that's famous for Zerg's loving?
Yeah. Well, Protosses have become a lot better on this map. The Mothership Core, a very useful tool.
Right.
The new SkyToss styles can be very nice here. We do see that actually a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if he went for something like that, even though it doesn't make me think JangBi, going like Void Rays. I think carriers for JangBi a lot, but I really think about like the power that he attacks with robotics type units. But again, you can actually do builds like he could open, for instance, a Stargate into the 2 Immortal 2 Colossus timing push. He could just open up with a 2 Immortal 2 Colossus timing push. He could go. Do you think he'll go Gateway Expand here?
I don't know.
I think he will.
There's always a chance. All right. Here is a shot of KangHo, formerly known as Lucira.
Yep. Now
going up against JangBi, the legend from StarCraft 1. Tell your friends to tune in here at GOMTV.net. I'm Tasteless. With me is Artosis. We're Tastosis, the casting Archon. And this is Season 2 of the StarLeague. And now to introduce our players. In the bottom right, the legend from StarCraft 1, now here in StarCraft 2. He is
Master Samsung-kan JangBi.
in the upper right. His opponent, he has yet to win a Korean championship. Will this be his tournament? He is
Master LGIM KangHo.
What's up, Artosis?
Well, I do want to give a props to the different color usages that we're seeing. I like purple Zerg and orange Protoss. It kind
Purple
of
is
feels
definitely
like
a
what they're
good
supposed to be.
Zerg color, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've always been kind of purple.
They
you know?
have,
Like
yeah.
Creep in StarCraft 1 was purple. It's,
Definitely well color coordinated.
Yeah. It looks nice.
It does. And it looks like we actually might have a wonky expand here. JangBi actually made his pylon by his Nexus.
Yeah, this could be a gateway expand coming out of him for sure. It could be a Forge in the main fast expansion, but yeah, it's the gateway. And that just kind of makes sense.
Yeah. So, as you can see now, we're still going to have to wait and see. There's a lot of different ways that you can do a gateway opening here. He might not even do a gateway expand. We don't know just yet. JangBi is definitely an innovator.
Do you think he could do like a one base all in?
Well, he's getting 2 gases now. So I think there's a chance. And frankly, if there's a map that I would do a 1 base all in on as Protoss against Zerg, this would be the map I would do it on.
That would be wild. Like, we have seen occasionally something like, for instance, I've seen MC go a 3 gateway stalker type of attack, and I don't think we're going to see it here, though. I think he's going to throw 2 probes on each gas, expand, grab mothership core, and probably go into Stargate. I'm kind of feeling it.
All right, so that's definitely a possibility, by the way. And so,
good drone scout, by the way, by
very
Lucera,
good drone scout.
because
Very, very good drone scout.
you need to find this so that you can actually get your gas and go for speed. If you don't, then, well, you're playing risky. If he did go for a 1 base all and you don't have speed, he has a much better chance of it working. And, of course, 2 base timing attacks are going to work out well as well against a Zerg with no speed.
All right, so the question is, how exactly is he going to play this? I'm really...
Okay. Will he cancel this one?
Yeah, that's so funny. I didn't actually think he was going to get that down, but yeah, he got the hatchery down here at the expansion.
That's, JangBi sent his probe out. That drone scout was just at such a good time. Wow, because that is so annoying. This is completely messing with JangBi's build, but it happened last game. He dealt with it perfectly.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, he's done it before. He can do it again here.
I think he'll actually cancel this. Yeah, in fact, you know what? He is going to cancel this. There's no way he's going to try to finish this hatch. First off, it's obviously taking a lot of damage because he started so much later than in the first game.
Yeah, very true.
Which is going to make actually this reaction from JangBi less powerful.
Yeah,
because
that's very true.
Yeah. Because this is going to cancel right around when he wants to actually start the Immortal. So it does, and then there's not going to be creep to clean up. So basically, he's going to have a robotics that isn't doing anything because he's building a Nexus. So this is not the most efficient thing that we're seeing.
So you think right now KangHo could be in somewhat of a lead? I'm really surprised by the evolution chamber, but wow, okay.
Yeah, it looks like he just wants to slow things as much as possible. And now the Wings even see this. KangHo's in a good spot. I like it.
Yeah.
I like where KangHo's at.
You know what's funny is I was saying earlier that was a strategy, the way we saw it in game number 1, I said that's a strategy that you're just not as likely to ever use again in a tournament, and then boom, he does it once more.
Yeah.
In the second game of a PvZ that we've casted with him.
I think that, that wasn't 100% planned. It was just something that he knows he can do. But
yeah.
The way that it was a little bit later and the way that it was canceled, it is slightly different at least. Well, a lot of queens coming out for Lucia.
Yeah, not a shocker there.
6 queens. And he's going for a 3rd base. 6 queens and a 3rd base at this time.
He's going for a little bit of that style that we saw some of in the end of Wings of Liberty.
Now, an observer has been made. I'm actually really wondering what the plan is here for JangBi, because Lucera's plan, or KangHo's plan, is kind of interesting. If he doesn't get attacked very powerfully, he's going to be in a great spot. But if he does, he has no Zergling speed. He's basing his defense off of queens right now.
Well, here's another factor too. The Observer's about to get in there, And he can easily see that there's no link speed. He can also see how many queens there are. And he might opt to actually go in here and attack. I mean, he is making an immortal right now. Oh my god, that's Observer just barely not getting killed off there.
Yeah, he actually
But
flew
he's
it right
actually
towards
chasing
the
it with the Spore Crawler.
If he could kill that, that would actually be huge.
Yeah.
You do not want to lose that Observer right now. It's actually very important to tell him exactly what's coming. But some Spines on the way, and he is making those Immortals. So looks like right now he has just one out, making a lot of sentries as well, getting that second Immortal. Yeah, it looks like we should just see an Immortal Zealot sentry push, a very popular build right now, but I wonder how this is going to work out against what Lucira has done.
Well, you know, we're going to learn
very
a lot
interesting
about
game.
this build and how it actually works, and if JangBi's figured Protoss out right here, because we don't cast games that are really like this.
Well, it's a very odd opening by Lucira.
Yeah.
No question about that.
And even in a way, an almost odd response here by JangBi.
Yeah, I liked the response in game one, but in this game I'm not as certain of it because of when the hatchery started. But anyways, here we go. A big push coming in. I think he's just going to kill this. Like,
I believe you are
correct. I don't believe that. Well, he didn't force field the ramp at all, so I guess there's a possibility he won't.
All right, looks like a one sentry. Oh my god, that one sentry actually managed to survive that.
Time warped queens off creep. They're
That
almost
is
traveling back in time right now. They're so slow.
They are so slow.
Okay.
Get back.
Yeah.
So, you know, yeah, he can't really move in here and do much more damage. He's going to go ahead and pull out.
I think
he probably will just try to take a third base. No, excuse me. He is actually going to move in here with a Warp Prism. It looks to me like, yeah, do some harass here. Now, an Immortal can kill one worker in 2 shots.
Yeah.
So
looks like he's going to bring it back. Yeah, I think he wants at least 2 if he's going to do that. You know what? I'm a little bit disappointed in JangBi. This was a different build he was fighting against, a very different timing on the hatch. He still went for the Robo, and he could have killed that hatch. He had the Mothership Core. All he had to do was force field the ramp, target the hatch, and then he could have warped out if there were too many units. And then suddenly it's 2 base versus 2 base, and he's fine.
Well, you know what? I don't think he's going to go to a third base.
You know what? He may have.
He's going to do it basically a timing all in.
Yeah, he is. You're very right on that. And this actually, this begs the question.
Link's coming inside the main. Now going to where the probes are, hitting this pylon right now, which will deny more production here of the Immortals, of the Colossi,
Really
Warp
nice.
Prisms, Observers.
You gotta have a tasteless pylon, man.
You
back
gotta
that
have
up.
one of those, man. You can't just have that Artosis pylon, man.
This is really rough right now because he actually sees everything going on. He's killing pylons. He's slowing down Immortal production.
I believe it's actually impossible now for the Zerg to win.
The Protoss, you mean?
I mean, excuse me, the Protoss to win. Yes, that's what I meant to say. He's not been able to make Immortals or anything else from the Robo. One of these gateways is not powered. He's obviously is not going to get a third base if he's going to do a 2-base timing. So
yeah.
I would be shocked if JangBi wins this game in the next few minutes. I think what will happen is JangBi will attack, and KangHo will hold, and then JangBi will not be able to get a third base.
I think you pretty much nailed that one. It looks like he's going to go over and try to act like he's taking a third at the minimum. The thing is, even if he... you know what? Based upon what Lucira's seen, what Lucira's making right now... I'm sorry, I keep calling Lucira. I know he changed his ID to KangHo, but it's very hard. I think JangBi might want to just take a third. Because I don't know that I feel... Well, he has 4 Immortals.
Here's the thing, though, is if he takes a third, then, you know, KangHo takes a 4th and a 5th base, and then he just loses, but in a different way. You know, I think we'll have to see. I mean, JangBi will have to have perfect force fields.
Yeah.
He cannot lose the Warp Prism or any pylon that he's going to use to warp in other units, too.
He has, he has 5 sentries, 2 more warping in, so we'll see how many... Maybe he can break him. Maybe.
Counterattack here with the Lings, but JangBi has walled himself in entirely. And it looks like he's not going to be able to tear this down. Continuing to push forward now is JangBi. I don't think this is going to work.
Well,
in
now
fact,
we have Lings in his
inside the
base.
main. Yeah, he's going to be able to take out probes.
That is so painful to have those Lings in the base again.
Absolutely.
And ooh, that's a really cute.
That was a nice wall.
Yeah. But yeah, that's just those are just very annoying Zerglings right now. But you know what? The thing is, when you're on 2 bases like this, if Zerg screws up, you still can win. Because he's getting +2, he's getting blink, he's making his army bigger and bigger. As long as he's not whiffing force fields nonstop, you know, the closer you get to maxed, the less impressive Roach Hydra is.
Now, here's something else also to note. The Zerg is now at 200 of 200 supply, where the Protoss is at 130. The Zerg could not be stronger at this moment.
Yeah.
For how far we are in the game, we're at about 15 minutes.
But if JangBi gets up around 160 and then up 170, 180, 190, his army actually becomes better as long as he has nice force fields.
That's true.
Especially with Blink.
That's when the Zerg has to counterattack, basically.
That's where it gets pretty difficult.
Nice. Contaminate here on the Twilight Council. The Blink upgrade is going to be late.
4 force fields, not really getting much. Lucira does not care about that one Roach that died, that's for sure. And he is actually starting to clean up a little bit, but this is a lot of his force fields. You gotta watch that because he's killing the army very cost efficiently so far, but as soon as those force fields are gone, it's a lot harder.
All right, he's continuing to push forward. KangHo being very patient and backing up 2 more force fields baited out.
Well done. He's back maxed out. More units making right now. Blink almost done. +2 is done. More good force fields.
Yeah, he's bringing force fields out here, but he needs to get force fields that will actually cut up the army so he can engage. Again, the concave always beats the convex.
He's got to be careful, too. If he loses that Warp Prism, that could be an issue. And, ooh, some good force fields going down. He does have Blink, so he's going to want to micro those Stalkers a bit more heavily. But here's a problem, too. He's lost 3 Immortals.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. I had not noticed that. There's only 1 Immortal here. That's not, I mean, there's a sizable amount of Roaches. There's also not a lot of room on the ground to move around here for JangBi. No. He's going to try to blink back here, almost losing that Warp Prism. Again, continuing to blink, but the sentries now are stuck in the front. 3 sentries, 4 sentries now being taken out.
He just doesn't have many left. He's just going to go Blink Stalker from here on out, Tasis. We'll see if that works. I don't think it's going to.
Oh, he got the Warp Prism.
Oh, man, no more Warp
I think that's it. He even pulled the drones.
Yeah, this was a good hold by KangHo, and you know, it's something that I think you could almost see coming. JangBi, is there any way for him to come back and win this game?
I don't think so. I think actually Zerg just maxes out again and then attacks where the Protoss' third would be. Even if the Protoss could get a third up, it shouldn't be near his base. He should actually hide a third base, like up in the upper left-hand corner of the map or something like that.
Yeah, you know, I'm like racking my brain for how JangBi could win this. I think he was actually attacking a little bit too early into that. He like attacked as KangHo was just maxing out. He needed to wait for a bit more supply.
Well, the thing is, the Zerg did not have a 4th base. It still does not have a 4th base.
3 base Roach Hydra you can deal with on 2 base one time. And the thing is, he did move too quick.
All right, forces a cancel there. Now, the real problem for the Protoss is the Protoss lost all of his sentries in that last battle. So there's really, beyond Blink Micro, there's not a lot that the Protoss can actually do when an engagement occurs.
Well, this is just not going to work out for him. He is down by 80 supply. He's doing very well right now. But KangHo will just continually remax, I would say.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. We see the Roaches now and Hydra's trying to retreat here. And it looks like they will have to retreat, get back onto the creep. But they're far away from that time warp now, so they can once again engage back in here. A lot of Roaches being cranked out right now, along with the Hydralisks.
A lot of cost efficiency, almost 30% more cost efficiency so far for JangBi here.
Yep.
But Lucira, I mean, look at this supply taste. It's 188.
Yeah. I mean, he's just too far behind. Look at even these little counterattacks here with a few Roaches are enough to make the entire Protoss army have to turn around.
And, you know, he's having to warp in units at home. He's losing them cost inefficiently, not able to micro on 2 fronts as well. And, in fact, KangHo's chasing him all the way back.
Yeah. Now he's going to use his Blink Micro here. But again, the Zerg is so much higher in supply, it just does not matter. GG.
All right. Well.
All right. That was a disappointment there from JangBi. I gotta say, a big disappointment there from JangBi.
Yeah. You know, Tasteless, it is. I am a bit disappointed. When he went for the Robo, if you just look at the speed, 2 completely different speeds with which Lucira made his hatcheries in the 2 games against JangBi. In the first game, you could easily look at it and say, there is I'm going to be able to afford to make units out of this. Instead, in this game, he made an observer. He got scouted. The hatchery didn't block his Nexus for that long, and then I don't know. Everything about JangBi's play I felt was a little bit off. Whereas in game 1, it was just so beautiful.
It seems like he lost a lot of momentum after those technical difficulties in the game against Fantasy.
Could have been.
I feel like I don't want to psychoanalyze too much, but it just seems like he's a little bit off.
Yeah.
From where he started today to where he finished. But, that's life.
That's
life. Who's also out of this group.
He's also out of this group. That's right.
We're going to go to the interview now. Enjoy.
I know. KangHo says, after losing the first match, actually, that now that he's moving on after one loss in the beginning, in a way, it feels a little bit better because it feels like he's kind of overcome that. And KangHo says after the first loss, of course, he didn't feel good, but because to the fans what matters is how he plays, he decided he just needs to show a really good game afterwards and bounce back from that. And KangHo says he believes that with today's performance, the fans will be able to trust his judgment in how he plays and how he changes things, because he thinks he's even shown improvement within the day.
불리했던 이런 상황이 있었잖아요. 네. 그래도 저저전에 워낙 자신이 있었기 때문에 그리고 제가 가장 좋아하는 구조가 나왔었어요. 그래가지고 이미 그 상황이 된 이상 안 질 거라고 생각했어요.
And KangHo says in the last match, he realized that the build that JangBi was going, that he actually really enjoys playing against that. He was really confident. So as soon as he saw what unit composition JangBi was preparing, he was like, all right, well, this game's in the bag. I just have to play it out.
He looked quite comfortable. Yeah, he played perfectly. Really got to say.
And of course, he wants to reach some really, really high results this season to give back to the fans. And we're talking about what KangHo's looking forward to, and KangHo's like, well, he's like, I don't want to really call for any predictions or anything like that because I don't know the groups for the round of 16. However, I am confident against all 3 races, so it's not like I'm looking forward to any sort of composition within the group in terms of race. And KangHo, of course, earlier saying charismatically that the fans will now be able to see that they need to trust his judgment. But of course, always has that smile on, so see if he can say something a little bit arrogant, maybe. Oh, KangHo. He's like, oh, well, I believe I haven't shown really good performances recently, so this time I just want to take it step by step, be calm.
I would say top 6 in Korea. WCS Season 1 was pretty darn good. It's a good start, no doubt about it. But I got to say, I love KangHo. I love watching him play. I really did not expect him to make it out of the group, and he proved me wrong. And I am so...
Gotta agree with what Doa said back there. I also did not expect him to get out of the group. So
it's a tough group, man.
Upsets do happen.
Well, maybe it's not an upset anymore. The kid has been at the top before. Maybe he's back up to where he feels he should be.
Well, guys, we're going to take a short little break, but don't go anywhere. We're only halfway through today's games as we go on to the next group here in the StarLeague Season 2. So stay tuned.